This is a question from Andrew from Bucharest, Romania. Dear Leonard, sometimes when criticism, whether soft or hard, comes into my life, I tend to lose the present moment and simply attack the one who criticized me, either intended or unintended. I need some guidance, please. Thank you. Blessings, Andrew.
Criticism is a form of judgment, isn't that a fair statement? A criticism is intended to make you smaller. If I criticize you, particularly for children, but that stays with us, if I criticize you, I'm making you smaller and somehow I get to be bigger. That's kind of the game we play with criticism. I put you down, somehow I go up. That's the game we play, one of the games we play with each other. And judgment is even worse, because judgment is actually not an attempt to make you smaller, it's an attempt to get rid of you. I judge you, I dismiss you, I condemn you. Judgment's much nastier than criticism, but they're both just basically employed for the same, towards the same end, which is for me to be bigger and you to be smaller, or I get rid of you, so you're not a disturbance to my comfortable delusional state. If somebody criticizes you and it hurts you, and you react to that by either being angry or being hurt or being a victim, it just means one thing: you're caught in the cycle of abuse. You're an equal partner in the cycle of abuse. The one abusing you and the one being abused are equal in the cycle of abuse. They're both equal participants. And probably the one being criticized and then getting angry has probably been the abuser in a previous lifetime. So all it means, Andrew, is you're very, very caught in the cycle of abuse, and you need to bring that to consciousness. If you judge or criticize another, you're caught in the cycle of abuse. You're involved in false power. False power is the power we seek to have when we feel powerless. And the way I escape that feeling of feeling powerless is to have power over you, either by judging you, by criticizing you, by beating you, by declaring war on you. All sorts of ways I can employ to try and make myself better, stronger, bigger than you. False power, power over you or over someone. And the whole of humanity is lost in false power. Isn't that a fair statement? If you blame another, blame, false power, guilt, false power, resentment, false power. So next time someone criticizes you, just acknowledge, Andrew, that you've been caught for a long time in false power, probably lifetime after lifetime. And I promise you one thing, Andrew, whoever criticized you was sent directly to you by God. You should go down on your knees and thank them for criticizing you and say, thank you, you give me an opportunity to recognize where I'm caught in false power, which is based in powerlessness, which comes from childhood or maybe a distant past life. So I would regard it as an opportunity. Next time somebody criticizes you, pay attention to how you react and then ask yourself, is that how I need to react? Is that who I want to be in that situation? And if not, then who do I want to be? Because you have the power to make choices of how you respond. But there's a huge difference between responding and reacting, isn't that true? Reacting is really reenacting something from the past that's incomplete and unhealed within you. You know, your father used to criticize you. That's still very painful from your childhood, Andrew. Your father or your mother criticized you. It made you furious, angry. You wanted to kill your father, but you couldn't because you'd get into trouble and he'd spank you and put you in your room. So you had to repress it. So when somebody triggers you, when somebody criticizes you, it triggers that old feeling from your childhood. And you're reacting in the way you wanted to react but couldn't as a child. So if you find it impossible to calm these feelings down and respond differently, then go home. When you get home, focus on the person that criticized you, kill them 3 times in the most creative ways possible, and then that energy will slowly dissipate because it's satisfied. It's getting to express. I don't mean actually hurt anyone or kill anyone in person. It's just play. Play with all these energies. Liberate them. Maybe say to whoever criticizes you next, blessings upon your criticism or blessings upon your judgment. For you are the one who has to live with the energy of judgment, not me, unless I take it on. But if I don't take it on, hey, that's your judgment. The energy of judgment is in you, it got nothing to do with me. Well, then that person who's judging or criticizing has to then face who they've become. Okay?